I finally had a those damn kid moment today when I was just wearing a random band t-shirt. It was a Godsmack t-shirt, and I walked into the local bodega. For some reason, my town that is like entirely like palatial suburbs has a bodega, but yes, it has a bodega, and I was getting some milk there, and the cashier was like oh Godsmack, and then I was like, oh yeah, I mean I'm not, and I felt like I was being judged at this point. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not actually into them, but someone got me this for my birthday because they heard I liked Godsmack at some point apparently, and I just like, carried on the conversation assuming she knew what Godsmack was, and she's like, no, but what is it? And I was like, oh, it's a band, and she's like, oh, okay, and I was like, and she was like, I've never heard of them before, and I was like, how old are you? It's like, I'm 20, and I just, oh god, I'm so old.
The moment of,
no, I'm old.
Oh no, I'm old.
Oh no, yeah. I'm old. I spoke to a 20-year-old that doesn't know what Godsmack is, and I just assumed she was the same age or even older than I was. Oh fuck.
Aging. Hey, podcast listeners. Aging.
Proximity alert. Vessel approaching. The vessel is hailing.
Space.
Warning. Warp core collapse in 10 seconds.
I just had a birthday recently, so I mean, you know, it's all that. I think that's why this is all coming into perspective for me recently.
Word.
Oh well. Well, shit. That's Left Track. See, folks,
that's Left Track. Next time, because nobody wants to talk about this episode of Star Trek we watched. Because here's a fun thing. I barely remember what happened because it was so unmemorable.
It was very boring. I just remember that it's about.
Oh, yeah. What is it? What's it about?
Wait, I don't remember what it's about.
Wait, were you not doing a bit there? Did you go into that confidently and then not remember?
Yeah. I was about to I was like, wait, did that actually happen in this, or was that from another episode? God, it's so dumb. This episode sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. That's your opener.
All right, I'm pulling up. It's called Manhunt.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. It's about fucking a horny MILF running.
It's about horny MILFs in your area.
Yeah, horny MILFs in your star quadrant,
in your area.
Well, hey, you know what?
Loins frothing, leaving a fucking goo trail through the fucking halls of
Loxana Troy snail trailing around the Enterprise. Welcome to Left Track, your leftist Star Trek podcast. I'm Eric. I'm nearing my 60s and am getting real into it. I'm getting real hot and bothered. I'm finally reaching sexual maturity, and I'm joined by Brian.
I'm just one of those conduits, a plasma conduit. Because I was so bored by this episode, I couldn't even focus.
You weren't even on screen. You were just, you're the invisible workings of the ship behind the scenes.
Exactly.
And Zotz.
Hi, I'm Zotz. I'm the third wheel that's called upon when you're in a really shitty fucking Tinder date, and I'm just there to regale your horrible date with tales of just random anecdotes I have about lefties on the internet. That's what
Oh, yeah.
Can I update mine real quick? I have an update.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm
Update your
Picard's
bio.
Dress uniform. There we go.
Yeah. You're hugging those feetsies tight.
Oh, I'm all on those feetsies.
Now that's something I did not know about the dress uniform, but I mean that's spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen this episode. Picard's got little feetsies and they're all tucked into his little tights.
Cute. They're cute little
He's
feetsies.
cute. He's the little guy. The Enterprise here. This episode's called Manhunt. Did I say that already? Where the fuck ever. The Enterprise is gonna pick up some funny fish people to go meet at Pacifica. Of course, we all know that Pacifica is the place where they do conferences. I think maybe it's from the original series. Whatever. They beam on board some funny fish people, and they're in a state of hibernation, and they're just like, hey O'Brien, just toss these two fish people diplomats, toss them in the corner, just keep them in the transporter room until they're ready to be revived.
That is kind of really weird. Like, they're just like, who are these people? Oh, they're really important diplomats. Okay, cool. What do we do with them? I don't know. Storage? Maybe you want to? Yeah. Is there any
transport them to sick bay? Maybe.
I think doesn't O'Brien literally say like I'll move them out of the way or some shit like that?
Yeah, he's like I'll keep them out of the way.
Yeah, it's like okay. Gotta love some cool fish people that are just sitting there in stasis. It's like. These are living statues until we wake them up, so that's exciting. Fun.
And like everybody on the ship's taking turns to just like get spooked by how ugly they are. Like everyone's just it's like Wesley's just going around the deck and it's just like, hey, you want to see something really cool on the teleporter deck? And they're like, yeah, and they go,
Well, Worf is the only one not spooked by them because they're just like, Worf just looks at him and says, "What a handsome race." Oh.
Worf fish fucker confirmed.
Monster fucker Worf.
The Shape of Water.
If only the Shape of Water guy looked like these motherfuckers. They look, I mean, surely I will have put them in the thumbnail. There's no question you, listener, already know what these people look like, but surely there would have been somewhat less attraction to the funny fish man in the Shape of Water if he looked more sardine like. They
did like put like the eyes on the side of the head, very fish.
It's very anatomical,
very fish forward, I guess. I don't know.
Fish forward. I like the sound of that.
But we get Loxana Troy. Now, when I say Loxana Troy, I'm pronouncing that like phonetically from my notes, which instead of saying Loxana, which it's a fake name. Why would my voice text? No, it is instead to say Lox on a Troy. Loxana Troy. Hey, whatever, same thing. Best character in the series thus far. She's representing Beta Z at the conference, so she's not just some former aristocrat. She's an actual diplomat, and the show kind of treats it like the show kind of goes back and forth, treating it like oh, it's her first appearance. I don't know, maybe they're not confident that anyone watched the first season, so they're like, oh, we got to reintroduce them to this character. But hey,
yeah, there was Picard says, oh, it's good to have your mother back on board again, or whatever the fuck. And then everybody else is acting like this is their first time, kind of.
Yeah, Riker's telling Wesley and Data a story about how she acts, and they're just all like, yeah, we know. we were there last time when Troy was getting married, and then the guy went to go catch COVID on the ship. That's a plot point.
There's a joke I want to make about how she's supposed to be a diplomat from Beta Z, but she really wants to get someone in Zeta bed.
Hey, good.
Rim shot.
And then we get like a funny cut of it cuts to Troy, and she's like, "Oh God, please don't do this to me," before we even know like what before we know that's your mom that she's reacting to. If you don't know what's going on, you'd think that some alien bounty hunters are about to like take Troy in to be like executed or something. But
yeah, but
no, it's my mom coming to visit.
Yeah, it's even worse.
So as we stated, they're wearing dress uniforms, and fun fact about the dress uniform: no shoes. It's just tights. They're just tights that cover your feet. Are they still tights if they go up to your waist? Like what the fuck are those?
Yeah, they're tights if they go up to your waist.
Are they pantyhose? Are they?
I don't know if there's a meaningful difference. People call them tights like that all the time, though.
Okay.
And by people, I mean me.
Yeah, there's some sort of like more pajama style tights. So there's no shoes, like no sock. They're just wearing that on the floor. So it just looks like it looks weird. It's like their feet are like little like nubs, because you're used to either seeing like either a foot or a shoe on that foot, and instead it's just like a thin covering that doesn't like grip the foot enough for it to have a foot shape. So everyone just kind of looks like they're elves. and we cut down to Picard's legs, and it was just Picard's little elf-like legs just there on the ground. Patrick Stewart is a very tiny guy.
Oh, I guess so, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, like, you can see him next to, like, Riker sometimes. Riker's, like, maybe, like, a full foot taller than him. Like, I don't think he's, like, super small, but I think he is, like, 5'6", so he's pretty short.
Is he really 5'6"?
I think, you know what, hold on, this is information I need to know. Patrick Stewart height.
We need this information.
Information.
For this show?
Wait, no, he's 5'10". He's not short. Who's short? Wait, no.
He's a mid-king. He's not a short king, he's a mid-king.
Now, okay, wait. I'm kidding. So, okay, this is incredible. Okay, so Patrick Stewart's IMDb says 5'10". Then the next result says he's 5'9". Then the next result says he's 5'8".
Excellent.
Listener, do this and I'll look at Patrick Stewart height. Wait, how fucking tall is he?
I think maybe he's spreading misinformation on his own behalf. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Like, imagine lying on the internet. What the fuck?
Yeah, who does that?
Yeah, no, this is misinformation. Picard is a short king, and I think, and like Jonathan Frakes, I think is just like particularly okay, all right. Jonathan Frakes height. This is what we're gonna be doing for this episode instead of talking about it. Yeah, okay, Jonathan Frakes is 6'3". So
yeah, he's a tall-ish man right there. That's like pretty tall.
Michael Dorn is also 6'3". Look at that.
Yeah.
Brett Spiner, 5'11". This is so much more interesting than the actual plot of the episode.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
There's a lot of shots where they're like standing next to each other. I'm pretty sure Patrick Stewart has like the Joe Rogan thing where there's just like there only exists lies about their height, and then like you see like Joe Rogan next to someone that has like confirmed height, and Joe Rogan's wearing like platform inserted like shoes, and he's still like a foot shorter than someone who's like 5'10". He's like,
yeah, hey, I appreciate that he'll go for a photo op with Jordan Peterson, a sickly but incredibly tall man,
a real broken tree,
and then still try and spread the his insecurity about his height. And be like, yeah, no, I'm tall. I was like, oh, dog,
You were,
I don't know, man.
you were just
Kind of
objectively
seems like you're lying.
speaking.
That's a little pathetic, isn't it?
It's a little sad. I mean, like you're such like a famous guy, and then like, oh no, but I'm also tall. Like, okay, sure, great, thanks.
Sure, dog. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, get the fuck down there, you plebeian. Anyone that's under 6'5" is not even a human being. Oh, look at what am I? Oh, 6'5", huh? What a coincidence.
I'm so glad I'm not a human being.
Thank God, dodge that fucking bullet.
Yeah, seriously.
Never mind. Anyone under 6'6" is not a human being. You know what?
Yeah,
I won't.
it's like the
when
it's
I'm
like the Ada Rook song, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I was making a joke because it's like so niche that no one will understand what I'm saying, and I can just say whatever the fuck I want.
Yo, comment below. You know Ada Rook. If you're
Any Ada Rook fans in the audience? Do you like dance music with but it's also screaming and it's also sad and it's also like really, but it's like kind of empowering, but like it makes you feel good and bad at the same time.
Yeah, it's also like really fucking good.
That does sound.
Do you cry to it too? Let me know.
No.
Please sound off in the comments.
Leave a comment if you looked up Ada Rook and then cried. I'd never heard of this person, but that sounds interesting. I should look that up. I like dance music and crying.
Yeah, I mean, give her a shot.
Well, we need on a lighter note though. Picard's a little elf. He's a little elf dancing around the transporter bay, doing a little jig. Oh, then I guess Loxana Troy beams on board, and Loxana Troy keeps reading Picard's minds and like, oh my God, Picard, I can't believe that you would think about just pounding me into sand right here in front of everyone. And Picard's like, no, I didn't think about crushing that ass into dust, but
I would never. I am a French gentleman with an English accent.
So they have a little introduction. Like, you know, Loxana Troy is being like a horny MILF, and then Riker's like, here, let me get your luggage, and he tries to pick it up. Oh, but it's really heavy. She also calls the fish people better served on a plate, like a quality ambassador, Loxana Troy, I think. Thank you.
Best ambassador. Definitely deserves the position. It is not just a shoo-in because she's royalty or whatever.
Yeah, right. And Data even earlier says that, like, oh yes, the last remaining human prejudice is judging people based on their appearance. Fucking based, Data, but I guess it's not just a human prejudice, is it?
Nuh-uh.
Whatever, they're all humans. They all just talk about themselves like they're fucking humans and annoys the shit out of me. Troy is like, oh, she's talking about the men like they're a piece of meat, and Troy is like, oh, mother, it sounds like you're sizing them up like a commodity, and she's like, oh yeah, that's what men are.
True. Based. Yeah.
Can you tell I haven't taken my
based
Vyvanse
and true
today?
and real?
Yeah. I this episode was like really boring, and I haven't taken my Vyvanse today, so I am struggling. Oh my God. Sorry, what did you say?
I said mood.
Troy's mom is like, Troy's mom has like apparently, and I kind of missed like when this happened, but she tricked Picard into having like a one-on-one dinner that Picard thought was some sort of like diplomatic event that they're going to do, but she's like, and Loxana Troy has this huge like servant guy. I think he's played by like a wrestler or something.
No, that's the dude that played Lurch. He's like a big.
Lurch. That's what he is.
He's an actor. He always gets cast as really tall guys because
he's really fucking tall.
Because he's just really fucking tall. So they just are like, oh, so Star Trek, let's just paint him gray.
Beta Gray. Now he's a subservient alien race. Cool.
Doesn't talk.
Yeah, Loxana Troy was like, oh, Earthmen are so good at seducing aliens. And Loxana has this like running joke where she talks about stuff that Picard is thinking about, like he's thinking about banging her or something, and he like sometimes protests against it, and I don't know what we're to assume. I guess we're to assume that she's being playful because like. But they're doing it like, so I guess it's like a playful, but like, if Picard wasn't thinking about banging her, Picard would know, and she would also know, and she would know that Picard knows. Is this gaslighting? Is this telepathic gaslighting?
Sure.
I mean, you know, maybe.
Because imagine like I have telepathic powers and I'm like, I'm reading your mind and I'm just constantly talking about how you want to fuck. It's like,
and then you don't. And you're like, wait a second, why are you full of shit? And
yeah,
it's like,
wearing down someone's like emotional world, their own like sense of self, because you have like knowledge that they don't. It's really dark, actually. Loxana Troy is a groomer. It turns out.
She's a villain.
But
except when she isn't. Character. But she is. She's complicated. There you go. Easy.
She's a very complicated woman.
She's a very complicated woman.
They're having like the super awkward dinner, and then they're giving like thanks for the meal by like banging a charm, and Picard's like, "Wait, I see a way out of this." He goes, "Oh, I wonder what other cultures have rituals like that." And Loxana's like, "Well, I don't really know off the top of my head." And he's like, "Let's find out." Boop. Data.
Oh, Data.
Oh, Data, please come down here and tell me about all the customs where people give thanks for their food. Instead of, Picard, Picard's trying to avoid offending her, I suppose. So he's just trying to turn the dinner into a real fucking slog. Then Troy calls Data a slur. Loxana Troy calls Data a slur.
Not the other one. Come on.
Yeah, Troy would never use slurs.
Yeah, Deanna? No,
she would only say that, like, hey, this planet full of black people is really convenient for us. Why don't you try nuking their fucking atmosphere?
She only said that because she knew Picard was thinking that.
Yeah, she was reflecting Picard, who is the real monster. I'm just kidding. She only regretted. She was only saying that she regretted that the Prime Directive existed so that they couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so
saying
fine.
We should do it.
Oh, you're right.
That was a joke. It was a joke, I promise. Okay.
Cancel.
Brian, you're canceled.
Troy is like, Brian, you're done. Get out of here. I don't know who I'm imitating, but
I don't know.
I'm imitating the little guy from Star Wars that like hangs around with Jabba's palace. You're canceled.
Oh, the little cat.
Maybe
the cat that screams.
Picard, Picard and Data walk out into the hallway, and Picard takes a deep breath. Is like, Data, you will never know how grateful I am for what you've done. And Data's like, oh well, yes, well of course I have other anecdotes. And Picard's like, shut the fuck up.
Not now.
So they're having like, this is where Troy tells Pulaski that Betazoid women reach sexual maturity around 80, and we have like. we have like a we have like a comedy smash cut here where it like cuts immediately to like to Picard saying that like, I did not think about fucking your mom, and he's sitting down with Troy and Riker in his ready room, and Troy is explaining that like, oh, my mom, she's reaching the what we call the phase. It's where you get really horned burnt up when you're like a septuagenarian or something.
You become a creature of fuck.
What was the phrase they used that pissed me?
I don't know what phrase.
What was the phrase they used? It was like they become sexually like perfect or some shit like that. They become,
oh yeah, no, it
That's
was
weird.
What are
they become just fucking
Sexual demons.
I don't remember
yeah,
what they
it was like
what they actually say, but you did take
sexual
significant
perfection.
issue with it. No, it wasn't sexual maturity. Oh, whatever. But yeah, Zod took significant issue with this term. I mean, I kind of knew what they were going for, but I don't know. It's weird, regardless of the interpretation. It is somewhat weird, the way that they're doing this. But and then Riker is like sitting there. It's like, oh yes, well, we got involved. Me and Riker, we had a talk about this, and it's like, oh, our sex drive can quadruple, and then she times it. Riker's like, oh, the sex drive quadruples, and Troy goes, or more, and then Riker's like, or more. It's like, oh, I didn't want to scare you. Like, it's a kind of delightful scene. I kind of
was fine. Yeah, I kind of like that one, but
it's a delightful little tiny exchange, and it's otherwise like pretty boring episode. I don't know. If Picard's like, well, you know what? I'm going to the holodeck so that Lwaxana Troy can't find me. I don't know why he would think that. Like, so he's like, oh, I'm gonna go be Dixon Hill. Even though last time we saw him play Dixon Hill, he had like an existentially like deadly crisis where a crewman was like shot and nearly died, and then they had to convince a hologram gangster that they weren't actually real in order to survive. Like, that was hey, but it was a good mystery. Let's go.
It was a good mystery.
I'm a fan of the series. Let's do it. So yeah,
I did think it was funny where it's just like every time he like tells the computer like, hey, don't kill me, the computer just sends like more drastic fucking methods of like Picard being murdered over and over.
Escalation. Picard's so apparently all she knows, so he's doing this in order to like get away from Lwaxana, but all she knows is that he's away on like ship's business, and it's like, does he need to be in the holodeck for that? But no, he's just taking his own personal time. He's gonna go do some mysteries in the holodeck, and apparently Troy can't like sniff him out. And yeah, this is the funny scene where Picard is like getting like murdered over and over again, and the holodeck doesn't really get that he's there for a mystery. He's not there to dodge bullets. A mafioso pulls a gun on him. Some asshole with a scar on his face comes in and like grabs Picard, and Picard's like, I don't want violence. And then the mafioso comes back and he pulls a fucking Tommy gun. I was like, you're dead. Computer freeze program. What are you supposed to do even in that circumstance? Like, do you just get shot like immediately, and then because you just don't have like your gun out, and then you gotta like restart? Like what happens there? If this is like an actual mystery that's being done, what exactly were you supposed to do in this circumstance?
I think the computer is basically like, you failed your mission. You suck.
This
you
game
suck,
design
Picard.
is bullshit.
And then Picard's like, fuck you, and turns on cheat codes.
turns on God mode.
Yeah.
But it really feels like Picard like dealing with like an AI prompt. He's trying to make his perfect waifu that he envisions in his head. So he's just trying to like tell the computer like various different like variations on a theme, and they just can't quite get it right. Can't quite get it right, and by quite I mean at all. Another comedy smash cut. Worf, he's admiring the fish people. He's like, ooh, I love this race, they're so handsome. Loxana shows up and she says, oh, the fish would better be served in the sauce, I'm racist and horny. She kind of hits on Wesley a little bit, but is like, oh, you're too young. It's like, well, yeah, he's like 12.
Yeah, he's a child. Loxana, that is a child.
Then she passes up Worf because he's not the correct race. Pause. Yeah. Pausing for effect.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I think that writing limitation is a shame, because like I think that relationship would be hilarious. I think that would rock. I think that'd be very funny. Better than fucking Worf and Jadzia. Oh, that's right, Deep Space Nine heads. I hate Worf and Jadzia. I think it's one of the worst relationships in this entire show. And I love Deep Space Nine.
I think, yeah, it doesn't really make sense, but it also is very, like... It's very troubled, which is an interesting thing narratively. I get why they might have gone for it. But about Deep Space Nine... Loxana being, like, I only fuck humans, gets completely retconned in Deep Space Nine, so...
she comes back in Deep Space Nine?
She does.
Yeah,
and
spoilers.
She's great, too.
And she's great, and she sucks less, yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe because Odo's, can look like a human, it's fine, but...
Well, even in like in her already previous appearance in The Next Generation, she sucked less. Like, she was great. We all loved her in that last one, if I remember correctly.
I can't remember, but yeah,
I believe so. And yeah, we had Nicole on, and we were all having a great time with that.
Word.
Yeah, she was great in the last one, and I think her character kind of like degrades, and then it comes back. She's around a few times. She has several great episodes, including several great episodes of Deep Space Nine. But yeah, the problem with Worf and Jadzia, without going too into it, is that like the relationship is strictly a product of like Jadzia's like Klingon fetishism, and all Worf does is like. like abuse her constantly, and and he becomes like a reactionary terrorist, like
yeah,
and all
literally,
sorry,
literally,
yeah, literally, and like. And then we see, and then the only time we ever see Jadzia like thinking about her relationship is she's thinking like, oh my god, I've made like a horrible mistake. Like she's talking to like like a time travel duplicate of herself. Like, is this gonna work out? Because like, oh, I really hate my relationship with this man. It's like, fuck. It's only outclassed by Worf and Ezri Dax, and then Ezri Dax and Julian Bashir, which I despise. I also hate Kira and Odo. I hate the relationships in Deep Space Nine. Everyone except O'Brien and Keiko fucking sucks. Oh, and Cisco and what's her name? Whatever. I'm just talking about Deep Space Nine now. Stop.
Yeah, because this episode sucked, and there's nothing to say.
Seriously.
So like, okay, so I guess what I'm gathering so far is that like, the first season was awful. Mm-hmm. The second season is boring, and then the third season, I guess they just kind of figure it out.
Yeah, basically. I mean, basically, yeah. Well, I think even the next episode is like a really good one. No, it's not a really good one. But there are some good ones in season 2. I mean, we had Measure of Man and QQ, both like genuine classics, which like even though there were some fun ones. So I mean, no, you're why am I even providing context? You're like 100% correct. Yeah. Season 3, they just kind of figure it out all of a sudden, and it kind of coincides with Gene Roddenberry dying. So I don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes there. I'll be sure to ask Jessie when we have her back on the program, because I know very little about the intricacies of the production for this era specifically. I know season 1,
Word.
like, everyone's hating each other, and Tosh. Well, everything I know about the production of season 1, Jessie told me. So, so I guess this is the plug for Jessie Gender's YouTube channel. Go check out Jessie Gender's YouTube channel. It's very informative. She knows what she's talking about. But Worf, so she doesn't have sex with Worf because he's the wrong race, and I like that relationship, but hey, whatever. So like, oh yeah, and then they have the little thing where Locke's, she's just going down like all of the like viable males on the ship, just like systematically. So presumably she came down to the transporter bay to give Wesley a once over because he's the only human male there. Ugh.
She sees name and is like, oh, sounds like there's a penis involved in something.
Yeah, maybe she just never met Wesley and just have an age on her.
I'm just gonna hope. I'm just gonna hope that she doesn't know.
And then they're like, oh, who's next? And then then the helper who's mute like puts a little like box on his face, and I didn't get it. And Zots is like, oh my god, are they talking about Geordi?
Yeah.
And we don't see that scene, but yes, they are talking about Geordi. Like, definitely.
God, so they're like, who? Yeah, so fucking just bad.
Like, oof, bud.
But luckily, we cut back over to the very exciting like 8.5 plot. Dixon goes to the bar with his secretary, and she hands him a gun and starts expressing that she's a fascist sympathizer. Picard talks about how World War II was good, actually.
Oh yeah, there was that, wasn't there?
World War II was good because it was good for America. is what Picard says.
That is literally what Picard says, yeah.
And she orders...
And allowed the United States to become the world hegemony.
It did end up stimulating a bunch of technology, so,
Yeah, it was like, we got rockets, we got this. And she just starts listing off the accomplishments of Nazi scientists.
A Nazi was actually responsible for the first warp travel. That's true. Zephyr Cochrane.
I mean, hey.
No, Zephyr Cochrane had a black
yeah.
friend. He's not a white nationalist living on his compound in Montana.
Yeah, he's a pluralist living on a compound in Montana.
He can't be a fascist because he's not expansionist. He's isolationist.
Oh God!
So the secretary orders what was it? A Roy and Ginger? What was? I don't have it in my notes.
Bud.
What was that?
Bud. It was a Rye and Ginger.
A Rye and Ginger, and then I wrote down, and then my two podcast co-hosts were like, "Oh, what a woman."
It was just me. I was like, I like the cut of her jib.
Yeah, and I just said it sounded tasty.
Yeah, it's tasty. That's a tasty drink right there.
What is a Rye and Ginger?
So imagine if whiskey was spicy.
Oh,
that's rye.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Maybe you've heard of this ginger ale.
Oh, okay. It's literally just ginger ale. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Huh. That sounds awful. I would hate that.
I mean, I think it would probably
Personally.
blow out your taste buds because, you. But
yeah, I just think it's gross. I mean, I can handle extreme flavors. I just don't like them. So.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I taste that, and that's just like what I want to be tasting all the time.
Yeah, I have you ever eaten a ghost pepper, like, just straight up?
No.
Oh my god, they actually taste so good. Like, they taste amazing for the, like, 1.5 seconds before your mouth starts exploding. It tastes really great. Like, that's
Damn,
why.
what a cruel trick.
Well, yeah, but that's why like ghost pepper sauce ends up and various like ghost pepper things end up tasting really good, because when when they're not like strictly focusing on like the spicy, like it's a prop. I once had potatoes that were cooked with like slices of potatoes that were cooked with like dried and then ground up ghost peppers. Oh my god, it tastes so fucking good. I could, if you're someone like me and you love spicy stuff and you can handle it, look for something like that, or maybe just try growing some ghost peppers yourselves. They're not. Well, I tried to grow some, and like none, for some reason, like none of the seeds germinated. I don't know why. I'm not bad at germinating seeds. They just didn't work.
It wasn't my fault. It was nature's.
Yeah. Hey, I'm good. Okay, I have a green thumb. All right. Fuck you, nature. You stiffing me on my free peppers.
I have a green thumb. Yeah, of mildew.
Oh fuck! Been destroyed.
Destroyed, rocked.
The only thing I have left to live for is dryly reciting the rest of this episode. How have we only been going? I mean, I know we were talking for a while because we were like getting set up and Dots had to do something, but like, how have we only been recording for 47 minutes now? Like,
that's how I felt about watching the episode. I was like, how have I only been sitting here for like 27 minutes? And
it did drag.
There's nothing happened.
Not a
and like
thing.
the end of the episode pissed me off so much too, but we're not there yet.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'll hold on to that.
Yeah, I've got like 3 more paragraphs down there. Okay, so so Picard talks about how World War II was good because it made America America. The Loxana Troy is going after. Well, yeah, we cut to Loxana Troy. She's like, I'm gonna marry Riker without having spoken to him first. So she completely ignores like Riker and then declares to everyone like, oh yeah, we're getting married. The fish people diplomats like are wake up. And then I don't know, they're like start eating krill or something. They start like bobbing for frozen sardines. It's like actually disgusting. Like,
they've got their little
like
fish bucket and they're just like,
it looked like shrimp. It looked like shrimp heads and like potato wedges. Like just like uncooked floating potatoes. It was very weird.
Oh yeah.
It was actually surströmming.
It was actually what?
Surströmming, you know, the Norwegian or is it Swedish? One of those. Fish, the fermented fish, the disc that you can get.
Oh.
That smells like everything's dying.
Ew.
Go Rose.
Yep.
Nasty. Then Riker and Data, they need to go. Because the fish people are just now waking up. They're like convulsing, and the Riker and Data go and get the captain. But then because there's no hurry, I guess they're taking their fucking sweet time. So Data's like, hey, give me 5 minutes to go get dressed up as a gangster from the 1930s. There's a somewhat funny line in here where the bartender's like, where Picard's like, hey, what's your last name, Rex? And Rex is like, I don't have a last name. It's just Rex, apparently. It's like,
It's just Rex.
I like that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Loxana Troy apparently doesn't know what a hologram is. As she comes down to announce her engagement with Riker, she instantly starts like falling in love with the bartender, who is admittedly like a masculine, like handsome guy. I was watching a lot of MASH recently, and I was like, wasn't this guy on MASH? And it's mostly because he just got that MASH type vibe,
No.
He looks like he's from the first half of the 20th century. He's just one of those guys. He's pretty tall too. He's just like a tall, handsome guy. So I don't blame him.
Time to break for Eric to check IMDb on how tall that man is.
But Troy is mostly attracted to him because, like, oh, I can't read his mind. You're so fascinating. I've never been able to do this with a man before. And then they go and talk, and Riker and Picard are like, oh, well, like, we should probably tell her something, but hey, she's off our ass for the time being, so let's dip instead. The fish people are like fishing around, being weird fish. Oh yeah, this is where they start bobbing for shrimp heads and ice, like like it's so gross. They're like using their little flipper hands and they're like trying to stuff like little fish into their mouth, like from this barrel. And that's where we reveal that one of these people was Mick Fleetwood. Mick Fleetwood was one of these fish guys.
Wait, I thought you were joking. That's a joke, right?
No, that is actually Mick Fleetwood.
No,
he's there.
That's fucking,
he has a credit and everything, and then first one on trivia. Mick Fleetwood was such a fan of the show that he agreed to shave his trademark beard for this cameo. Whoa, he even shaved his beard to be a weird fish guy on Star Trek.
That kind of rocks, honestly.
Me. Yes, right? Seriously. I don't even think he's like named. He doesn't have any Oh no. I don't know if he actually speaks, because the fish people do have lines when they like actually wake up. But I don't know. I don't know if he actually speaks or if the fish person that spoke was actually him, because you can't tell who they are because they're under like 3 inches of makeup to make them look like horrifying fish monsters.
Yeah.
Like he had to have been such a fan of the show to go through that level of fucking makeup. like holy
honestly,
shit.
Yeah.
But hey, that's cool, you know. It's like Tig Notaro showing up on Star Trek Discovery. She's like, oh, Tig Notaro is probably just a fan of Star Trek. Tig Notaro's great.
Yeah,
she's just funny.
Tig Notaro, come on Left Track.
Tig Notaro, I'll hit you up. Okay, I'll hit up your agent. It's not a paying gig, but well, you know, I'll pay. Like, Tig Notaro, how would you settle for my friend? Here, let me grab a piece of paper and pretend it's the bell. Would you settle for my friend?
Hamilton.
It's a paper towel, so I ripped it when I was trying to snap it.
Hamilton.
Lincoln.
No. I got
Would you do it for a 164th of a Bitcoin?
I don't have that kind of money. What are you talking about? Would you do it for our entire month's Patreon money? It could all be yours, Tig Notaro, if you go on Left Track. We're not going to disclose how much money that is until after you come on the show. And you're not allowed to look at our Patreon.
But it's not a lot.
By the way, thank you all our long. I wrote a little heartfelt message recently, but thank you for all our long suffering patrons. You have all just been consistently just giving and just not stopping, even though I haven't uploaded anything to the Patreon in months. I really honestly appreciate you. We all do. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, awesome. I'm glad you're slogging it out with us in the season 2 mines. You know, it's good.
It genuinely means a lot. It's very heartwarming for a small independent podcast such as ourselves. Independent until I sell this podcast to Fiji Water, of course, in order to get a lifetime supply.
I mean, I'll take fucking, you know, what's it?
Fiji Water? You want some Fiji water?
Kingdom money? Sure.
Yeah. You want the most delicious tasting water fresh from the military junta of Fiji.
Woo!
It's really good. It's just good water.
Hey, not gonna lie, I do enjoy me some Fiji water.
I'm being completely genuine. You know
Yeah.
what like I would love to, what a product I would actually love to be sponsored by? Tapatio. Tapatio has been such an important person in my life that I would literally do anything for you. I would I would do any kind of ad read. I love your sauce so much. I could not live without it. Also because I have an extreme sodium deficiency, and that's why I'm so addicted to your product. But also, ooh, it's so good. It's the only hot sauce that doesn't taste all fucking vinegary. I love you, Tapatio.
It's a good hot sauce.
It's a damn good hot sauce. It's like basically the only hot sauce I actually like.
I mean, I fuck with many hot sauces, but that one's real good.
I will actually, I invented something called Tapatio soup. Oh wait, we should finish the episode.
You don't want to tell everyone about Tapatio soup?
I'll tell you about the cliffhanger. I'll tell you about Tapatio soup after we finish.
Hey,
the
if you want the
episode.
Tapatio recipe, you can sign up for our Patreon.
Yeah. Oh my god, I actually should do that. You're gonna be
on the Patreon. You are contractually obligated to write out a recipe for Tapatio soup on the Patreon.
Ethically, I have to say you're going to be extremely disappointed. However, I will do that. I'm actually gonna do that. You are going to be so disappointed, dear patrons. But boy, will this be funny. She's fucking a hologram, blah blah blah. The fish people are fishing around, doing fish people things, and then the fish people are revealed by Loxana Troy at like the end of the episode. They're like, oh yeah, they're assassins.
Yeah, that's what I hated. I hated this part. It was so dumb.
Yeah, Loxana Troy is like, these motherfuckers are assassins.
The only interesting thing to happen in the fucking episode, and she's just like, oh hey, by the way, they're gonna kill everybody. And they're like, everybody's like, wait, what? Like, yeah, no, they're gonna kill everybody. Yeah, no. Oh, they're such a basic ass species. I don't even really need to think that. I don't even read their minds that hard. I just know it. Like,
I can just smell it on them.
Yeah.
She's apparently was able to I could read your minds without trying, you little fish monsters. It's unclear how long she knew that they were assassins. I guess she didn't. I guess her manhunt, the name of the episode, was it was more important than revealing that, like, oh yeah, these two guys, their like clothing or whatever is lined with enough explosives to like detonate an entire city. It's like, oh fuck, okay. So what was that?
I said Jesus.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no, it's wild that it's like, yeah, it's just one of those things. Transporter filters don't really pick up on it. It's like, how in the what the fuck kind of transporter filter isn't going to pick up on enough explosives? What the fuck did you say to me? Enough explosives to level like the entire conference. It's like, are you kidding?
Yeah, like, she knows their entire plan. She reveals it extremely casually. They plan on blowing up the entire conference, and so Oksana Troy here just extremely casually, like, it's brought up and she doesn't really care about it, and then it's like done immediately, and she's just saying goodbye to everyone like nothing happened. And I actually liked it. I actually liked that.
Wow.
I just thought it was very silly.
Yeah, it's silly. That doesn't make it fun. Like, it's like a.
I thought I had
bad
fun with it.
kind
I did
of.
think
It's
it was
a
fun.
bad kind of silly. It's like a. I don't know. Like somebody I don't know, ruining the ending to Barbie or something like that. Like, just something like very, like, it doesn't really matter, but it's why?
Just so nothing, and then like that I found it humorous, like how important it was in the fiction. I found the contrast to be funny. It worked for me as intended.
Yeah, God, you call me the fucking rube. At least I have taste.
I never said I had taste. I just said you're the rube. when it comes to Star Trek. Yeah, so it's a cute little scene, and then they're saying goodbye, and she's beaming away, and she's like, "Oh, Jean-Luc, I can't believe you're thinking of just pounding me into oblivion at a time like this." And Picard's like, "I am not thinking about pounding her to oblivion."
He was thinking about it.
Yeah, well, no, she said something else. She's like, "Well, you are now," or some shit like that. And then, like, he didn't deny it. Like, it was just kind of like one of those things where he was just like, "Well, I mean, if the thought's there."
Didn't he? I don't know. Yeah, and she was having like a kind of like even after like this whole like she presumably saved like tens of thousands of people's lives, and she has actually like a rather dignified departure in comparison to the man craved monster that we saw in the entire rest of the episode, and then it's just all thrown out where she's like, "Oh, Jean-Luc, you, shame on you for thinking such a thing," and then just the episode fucking ends. Really great.
Another nothing fucking episode. Aren't you excited, y'all? It's so fucking good. Was there another writer strike going on? Because that's the only way I could think of. Like,
I think
this
there was. At this point in time, I think there was a writer strike happening, actually. Because I know, like, this season was troubled by a writer strike, and that's why, well, we'll get to it, but the ending for season 2 is very funny. Well, all right, you know what? We're gonna do a proper close to this episode by dryly reciting all the IMDb trivia. There's just one here about that I know that I skimmed, and is about World War II. Presumably, it's about like the World War II discussion that they were having in the holodeck with these fictional characters. We know where Madeline, Dixon Hill's secretary, is a fascist sympathizer. So I'm just gonna, not knowing what this IMDb trivia says, I'm just gonna read it. Madeline, Dixon Hill's secretary, referred to the time that Hitler and Stalin were bosom buddies. On August 23rd, 1939, Hitler and Stalin signed a non-aggression pact shortly before World War II broke out in Europe, in which the two countries, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, agreed to take no military action against each other for the next 10 years. In June of 1941, Nazi Germany attacked the Soviet Union with launch of Hitler's Operation Barbarossa. As Madeline refers to this as the time being sometime in the past, Dixon Hill's story obviously takes place sometime in the fall of 1941. Wow. Aren't we all
Cool.
more learned today?
Cool. Sick.
Wait, but Zot, this is the first episode in which the dress uniform still has rank pips.
Oh wow.
I don't know what the fuck you just said to me. But...
All right, that's perfect. All right. Let's rate this episode. Brian, please rate this episode out of. Oh wait, hold on. I was trying to. I tried to think of like 5 different references to World War II, and then none of them ended up being appropriate, and now I'm stuck. Brian. Let me go somewhere else. Brian, out of out of 4 years under the legal age of consent in the Federation, rate this episode.
Oh God. Why would you do this? No, we're going with
because he tries to bang Wesley, who's 14.
I got it.
He's
okay?
12.
I understand. I'm going with 0 years under the legal age of consent because this episode was like watching paint dry, and also we're trying to make sure we're trying to keep it clean here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
This is a Christian podcast.
Speaking of keeping it
wait,
clean.
no, that doesn't work either.
Oof.
Speaking of keeping it clean, Zos, please rate this out of here we go. Rate it out of 6 hour the 6 hours that Mick Fleetwood spent in the makeup chair in order to get his sardine face applied for his cameo in this episode.
I'm gonna say 2 hours, like just when they really start getting like the latex on, like they're just like pressing the latex on. That's where it's just the most unpleasant, but like it's gonna end, like you're nearing the halfway point, yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
I had an MRI for like the first time in my adult life recently, and yeah, I understand that feeling. Oh god, I'm not claustrophobic.
Shit, my bad. I got a fucking Eric.
Oh yeah. Eric, me.
Eric, out of an entire spaceship full of virile males, just waiting for a MILF to snatch them up.
You have to give me a number.
Let's just say like 1,000. Like, it's a big ship, right? Like out of 1,000 virile males, just waiting for a cougar to pounce on them.
Yeah, This is not one of those episodes where like the 1 or 2 line deliveries that I like it improved it enough for me to give it anything more than like, I don't know, a 2 out of 10. It's really, 3 out of 10 in the middle of the bottom. It's really boring. It's not like most of the time it's not actively offensive. It's not.
There's nothing offensive in this.
Exactly.
There's like the joke is it's like leftists can always like find like some way to like whatever, like you can make they can make like a 5-hour video essay out of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You could take whatever you want and like make like a Marxist analysis on it. This episode, you could put a gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to fucking think of anything. I'd be like,
yeah, you'd have to get like Peter Sonian with it. You'd have to talk about like the sexual marketplace, and then like make like a leftist version of that. You'd have to get Vosh with it. Dark. All right. Well, the bartender refers to a newspaper stating that Germany was planning to invade England. Technically, he should have said the United Kingdom.
I love trivia.
Oh, that's left track, folks. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'll see you next week for a very exciting episode. Wow, Zotz is going to be really surprised. Stay tuned.
It's going to be good.